I've seen some really interesting stuff as of recently. And the OCG definitely likes to bring home. So there was a tournament in China about, oh man, I think it was a week and a half to 2 weeks ago at this point. And this deck ended up getting third place. And it was a relatively decently sized tournament. It was big enough for me to go, I kind of want to talk about this. So this is Ancient Gear OTK. Now, I'm just going to lay this out here for you. You're going to need to drop your max Cs, and you're going to need to adjust that. That's it. All right, so adjust the max Cs, strap on your helmet, and prepare to drop big fat monsters on your opponent when going second. All right, I don't think I need to say anything else about that. We're going to dig on into this, talk about the wonderful world of card choices here. So we have the one Ancient Gear box. So remember, this is going to be the one when it's added from your deck or graveyard to your hand, except by drawing it. You can add an Earth monster with 500 attack and or defense from your deck to your hand. So on that recruit, you're going to be able to tutor for another friend, which is actually going to be very important for a lot of this. All right? And then this is probably the best, I want to say the best card that we've got going for us. So Ancient Gear Frame. Alright, so you can discard one card to add an Ancient Gear Golem, or a spell and trap card that specifically lists Ancient Gear Golem in its text from your deck to your hand. And of course, you can only use this effect of Ancient Gear Frame once per turn. And of course, it's got the basic clause: if this card attacks, your opponent can activate spell trap cards till the end of the damage step. And if this card in its owner's possession leaves you because of an opponent's card effect, you can special summon up to 3 Ancient Gear and or Ancient Gear Golem ultimate pounds from your hand, ignoring summoning conditions. So, if your opponent's dumb enough to actually let you trigger this, it's a yikes. But this is going to be our Stratos of the deck, kind of 1600, 500 body. Reactor Dragon, the main thing we care about here is, on attack, it jams your opponent out of their spells and traps. We don't play the gadgets in this, so you could give 2 craps less about that clause. Ancient Gear Golem, alright. I love the clause of Kanabi special summon because 95% of our deck ignores summoning conditions. And same thing here. You get trample and you get the ability to bypass your opponent's spells and traps. Ultimate Pound, Kanabi special summon, much like his brother. Attacks a defense position monster, you get trample, and then up to twice per turn, when this attacking card destroys a monster by battle, you can discard one machine monster. This card can attack again in a row. If this card in the field is destroyed by battle card effect, you can add 1 polymerization from your deck to your hand, and then you get to add 1 other Ancient Gear monster from your graveyard to your hand. Technically, it'll trigger up box here, which is what you care about. Hunting Hound is probably the other best card that we have going for us. On normal summon, you can ping your opponent for 600! Hey, 1 step closer to winning the game. On attack, your opponent can activate spell trap cards. And once per turn, you can fusion summon 1 Ancient Gear monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as those fusion materials. Super basic stuff here. Alright, and then we got the new Reactor Dragon. So, if this card was tribute summoned by tributing an Ancient Gear monster, or a monster's attack, defense position monster, you get trample. This card tribute summoned tributing a gadget, blah blah blah. If this card attacks, you can activate spell and trap card, so then damage step. And damage step at this card attack, you can destroy a spell trap card in the field. It's got Ancient Gear in its name. Alright, triple Wyvern. If you normal or special summon this card, you can add 1 Ancient Gear card from your deck to your hand, except for Wyvern. Also, you cannot set cards for the rest of this turn. Nobody really cares about that clause. I love it's there, though, but it is. If this card attacks, your opponent can activate the effects, monster effects to the end damage step. And then, of course, we just gotta patch things up here. We got 2 Ash Blossom. When you're dropping those max Cs, you can play, 3 of those. And then, of course, we're going to talk about this card. Now, let's start getting into the cheesy good stuff. Ancient Gear Catapult. While you control no monsters, target 1 face-up card you control, destroy it, and you special summon an Ancient Gear monster from your deck, ignoring summoning conditions. Then you can banish this card from your graveyard, target 1 face-up card you control, destroy it, and you do special summon 1 Ancient Gear token to your field. Hey, this is value. Alright, this is where the good stuff happens. Triple Fortress. During the turn they are normal or special summon, your opponent cannot target Ancient Gear monsters you control with card effects. And they cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to the activation of your Ancient Gear cards and effects. If this card in your spell and trap card zone is destroyed, you can special summon an Ancient Gear monster from your hand or graveyard. So Catapult plus Fortress. You kind of get where we're going with this. Then we have 2 copies of Ancient Gear Fusion. So we can fusion summon an Ancient Gear monster from the extra deck using monsters from our hand or field as material. If you use an Ancient Gear Golem or Ultimate Ancient Gear Pound you control as fusion material, you can fuse from the deck as well. So this is basically going to allow us to extend out our plays. Alright, 1 Cybernetic Fusion support. Pay half of your life points. Once, if you fusion summon a machine fusion monster, you can banish monsters from your hand, field, and or graveyard as the fusion materials. You can only activate 1 Cybernetic Fusion support per turn. Well, don't mind me. My life points are irrelevant as I'm building this creature of death. We have 1 Foolish Burial Goods to send, and then we have triple Gear Town. Both players can normal summon Ancient Gear monsters for 1 less tribute. When this thing is destroyed and sends the graveyard, special summon an Ancient Gear monster. More fodder for Catapult. Double limiter removal, because we're going to kill the opponent. 1 Mausoleum of the Emperor, to basically assist us in summoning out our fatties that we draw. 1 Overload Fusion, because we're going to need this. And then we get Power Bond. This is the cheese. Like, we're using the Cybernetic Fusion support in here. So fusion summon 1 machine monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as material. And it gains attack equal to the original attack. During the end phase of this turn, this card is activated. You take damage equal to the amount of attack gained by this effect. Oh boy, we're making big fat monsters with this. We are making, and we have 1 set rotation, and then we have 1 terraforming. So basically we get access to the Mausoleum, and then we can give them the Gear Town. Extra deck here. Alright, so we have the 1 Underclock, basic stuff, 1 Cleave Genius. Our Link monsters, 2 Earth monsters. On Link Summon, we can add an Ancient Gear monster or a Gear Town from our deck to our hand. You can target 1 spell tribal control and 1 face-up card your opponent controls. Destroy that card you control, and if you do, change the monster's attack and defense to 0 until the end of the turn. Oh boy, I see where this OTK is going. 1 Babuski. Then we have the 1 Heavy Armored Train Wolf. 2 level 4s to make it. Once per turn, detach and exceed material from this card. Target a machine monster we control can attack your opponent directly. Also, other monsters cannot attack. If this card in your possession is destroyed by an opponent's card by battle or card effect, send the graveyard and add a level 4 lower machine monster from your deck to your hand. That's never going to come up, but it's here. We have 1 Cowboy, 1 Castiel, 1 Abyss Dweller, and then let's get into our OTK machine. So an Ancient Gear Golem plus 2 Ancient Gear monsters on a 4,400 body. Must be fusion summon. If it attacks defense position, you get Trample. If it attacks, your opponent can activate spell trap cards until the end of damage step. And if this thing is destroyed, you can target an Ancient Gear Golem in a graveyard, so summon it. 4,400, by the way. The apex of our deck. Alright, and then the big, bad giant. Just 4 Ancient Gear monsters to make it. That's easy. Must be fusion summon, cannot be special summoned by other ways. Unaffected by spells and trap cards. Your opponent's monsters cannot activate effects during the battle phase. This card can attack all of your opponent's monsters, once basically. And if this attack is on a defense monster, enjoy your trample. So what you're telling me is we can just unload with this through this. 9,000 go burr. We have the 1 Megaton Golem, 3 Ancient Gear monsters. If this card attacks, your opponent cannot activate spells and trap cards. Sure. If this fusion summon card is using 2 or more Ancient Gear Golem and or Ancient Gear Ultimate Pound as material, it can attack up to that many times during each battle phase. If this fusion summon card and its owner's control leaves the field because of an opponent's card, you can special summon an Ultimate Ancient Gear Golem from your deck, or extra deck. Hello. Ultimate. And then we have the Gear Howitzer, is probably our best sub. Unaffected by other cards. During your main phase, inflict 1,000 damage to your opponent. You can only use the effect of this once per turn. If this card is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, special summon an Ancient Gear monster from your deck, ignoring summoning conditions. This is basically just a mini floater that we have access to in the deck. I do like what this brings to the table, though, in terms of diversity for the things that we can do. Also, just floating. The unaffected by other card effects also makes this card really busted. Side deck is very basic. We have 1 Gamma Seal, 1 Kumamungus, 1 Radion, 1 Blackguard, 2 copies of Called by the Grave, 1 Galaxy Cyclone, 1 Feather Duster, Kaiju Slumber, the 1 Twin Twister, the 1 Ancient Gear Reborn. Once per turn, if you control the monsters, you can target 1 Ancient Gear monster in your graveyard, special summon it, and if you do, it gains 200 attack, even if this card leaves the field. Ooh. We have 1 Imperm, 2 copies of Red Reboot, and 1 copy of Vanity's Emptiness. Wrapping up this very interesting take on, I guess, what appears to be Ancient Gear OTK. What do you guys think? Please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. I'll see you guys on the flip side. Peace. Thank you, patrons, for making the ride never truly end. Without you guys' support, well, I would probably be doing Truffle Shuffle videos for a living. Guys, please check out VanCole40 for all of your Cardfight Vanguard content brought to you by MCole40. And if you are looking to pick up singles, check out mcolegames.com for your trading card game needs. Thanks for watching, everybody.